Studio lights were blazing hot that morning. Joy Behar sat at the table with her co-hosts, ready for another episode. They had a big guest coming. Prince Harry, the prince who walked away from the palace, the man who traded his crown for California sunshine. Everyone thought it would be a friendly chat, a soft interview, easy questions about his new life. But Joy Behar doesn't do soft interviews. Harry walked out to massive applause. The audience loved him. He waved, he smiled, he sat down at the table. He looked relaxed, too relaxed, like he owned the place. Joy welcomed him with a warm smile, but her eyes were sharp. She's been doing this for decades. Then she knows how to read people. "Welcome to The View," Joy said. "We're so happy to have you here." "Thanks for having me," Harry replied. "It's great to be here." The first few minutes went fine. They talked about his kids. They talked about living in Montecito. Light stuff. Surface level. The kind of conversation you have at a dinner party. But Joy was warming up. She was getting ready. You could feel it in the air. The tension was building. Then Joy shifted gears. "So let's talk about your family," she said. "You've said a lot about them in your book, in interviews, on Netflix. Do you ever worry that maybe, just maybe, you've said too much?" The audience went quiet. This was it. The real interview was starting. Harry's smile faded a little. He sat up straighter. "I've only spoken my truth," he said. "That's all I've ever done." "Your truth," Joy repeated. She let those words hang there. But what about their truth? Your brother's truth? Your father's truth? Harry's jaw tightened. You could see it, the irritation creeping in. "They had plenty of chances to tell their side," he said. "They chose silence." "Or maybe they chose dignity," Joy shot back. The other hosts looked at each other. This was getting intense, fast. The producers in the control room were probably freaking out. Or loving it. Maybe both. Harry leaned forward. His voice got harder. "You don't know what it was like," he said. "You don't know what I went through. The press, the lies, the racism against my wife." "I'm not saying you didn't go through things," Joy said calmly. "I'm asking if airing it all out on television and in books was the best way to handle it. What was I supposed to do?" Harry's voice was rising now. "Just take it? Just let them destroy us?" "Plenty of people deal with difficult families without going on a worldwide media tour about it," Joy said. That landed hard. You could see it on Harry's face. He didn't like that. Not one bit. "This is different," he insisted. "My family's different. The institution is different." "Different how?" Joy asked. "Because you're royal? Because you're special?" Harry's face went red. Actually red. The cameras caught it all. "I never said I was special," he said through gritted teeth. "You didn't have to say it," Joy replied. "You're sitting here, aren't you? Trading on your title while complaining about your title. And that's pretty special." The audience was dead silent now. Every eye was on these two. This was car crash television. Nobody could look away. Harry stood up. Actually stood up. Right there at the table. "I came here for a conversation," he said loudly. "Not to be attacked." "Attacked?" Joy laughed. Actually laughed. "Honey, I'm just asking questions. If you can't handle questions, maybe you shouldn't be doing interviews." "These aren't questions," Harry fired back. "This is a hit job." Joy didn't flinch. She's been yelled at by better people than him. "Sit down," she said firmly. "You're being dramatic." "Dramatic?" Harry's voice went up an octave. "You're calling me dramatic? After what I've been through?" "What you've been through," Joy said slowly, "is being born into incredible privilege. A palace. Wealth. Opportunity. And you threw it away. That's your choice. But don't sit here and act like you're some kind of victim." That did it. That was the line. Harry lost it completely. "You have no idea what you're talking about," he shouted. "None of you do. You sit here in your comfortable studio. Judging people. Acting like you know everything. The other hosts tried to jump in. They tried to calm things down. But Harry wasn't listening. He was on a roll. I gave up everything for my family, he continued. My home, my country, my relationships, and for what? To be lectured by someone who's never walked in my shoes? Joy stayed completely calm, ice cold. You gave up a life of service for a life of Netflix deals and tell-all books, she said. Don't confuse that with sacrifice. Harry's hands were shaking, literally shaking. How dare you, he said quietly, dangerously quiet. How dare you minimize what we've been through? I'm not minimizing anything, Joy said. I'm pointing out that you've made millions of dollars talking about how hard your life is. That's not minimizing. That's just facts. Facts, Harry laughed bitterly. You wouldn't know a fact if it hit you in the face. And there it was, the insult, direct, personal. The audience gasped, actual gasps. You could hear them. Joy's expression changed. Not anger, something colder. Excuse me, she said. Harry realized his mistake. You could see it. The moment he knew he'd gone too far. But he couldn't back down now. His pride wouldn't let him. You heard me, he said. You sit here every day, spreading your opinions like they're gospel. But they're just opinions. Uninformed opinions. Uninformed, Joy repeated. I've been a journalist for 40 years. What have you been? A prince who couldn't hack it? The other hosts were trying to cut to commercial, trying to stop this train wreck, but it was too late. Way too late. At least I have principles, Harry shot back. At least I stand for something. You stand for cashing checks, Joy said. That's what you stand for. Harry pointed his finger at her. Actually pointed, like a child. You're a bitter old woman, he said. That's what you are. Bitter and jealous. The studio went silent. Complete silence. Even the crew stopped moving. Nobody could believe what they just heard. He'd crossed every line there was. Joy stood up slowly. Very slowly. Get out, she said quietly. What? Harry looked shocked. Get out. Joy's voice was steel. Get out of this studio. Get off this stage. You don't talk to me like that. You don't talk to anyone like that. You can't kick me out, Harry said. He actually said that. I'm a guest. You were a guest, Joy corrected. Now you're just someone who doesn't know when to shut up and leave. The security team was already moving. You could see them at the edges of the stage, big guys in suits, ready to help him find the door. Harry looked around, at the other hosts, at the audience, at the cameras. He was looking for support, for someone to back him up. Nobody moved. Nobody said a word. This is ridiculous, he muttered. Absolutely ridiculous. What's ridiculous, Joy said, is that you came here thinking you could say whatever you wanted without consequences. That might work in your world. But not here. Harry grabbed his microphone pack and yanked it off. The sound guy winced. Those things are expensive. You're all the same, Harry said. The media, the press, all of you. You build people up just to tear them down. Nobody's tearing you down, Joy said. You're doing that all by yourself. Harry started walking off the stage. Stomping, really. Like a teenager who didn't get his way. But he couldn't resist. He had to have the last word. He turned back. You know what your problem is? He said to Joy. I'm sure you're going to tell me, Joy replied. You're threatened by me, Harry said. By what I represent. By the fact that I had the courage to walk away from a system that was killing me. Joy actually smiled. A real smile. Honey, she said, I'm not threatened by you. I'm just disappointed. I thought you'd be smarter than this. That stopped him cold. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Nothing came out. You had a chance, Joy continued. A real chance to make a difference. To use your platform for good. Instead, You're using it to whine about your family and make money off your drama. That's not brave. That's just sad. Harry's face went through about 5 different emotions. Anger, shame, more anger, confusion, then back to anger. I don't have to listen to this, he said. You're right, Joy agreed. You don't. The door's right there. He walked. He actually walked off. The cameras followed him the whole way, down the steps, across the studio floor, past the audience. They were all staring. Some looked shocked. Some looked satisfied, like they'd just watched something they'd been waiting to see. At the edge of the stage, Harry turned one more time. You'll regret this, he shouted back. Joy waved, actually waved at him, like she was saying goodbye to a kid going off to school. I doubt it, she called back. The stage manager was frantically signaling. Cut to commercial. Cut to commercial now. But the cameras stayed on. They caught everything. Harry storming through the backstage area. Him arguing with someone. Probably his publicist. Probably someone trying to tell him this was a disaster. Back at the table, Joy sat down. She smoothed her jacket, fixed her hair, took a sip of water. Cool as ice. Well, she said to her co-hosts, that was interesting. The audience erupted. Applause, cheers, standing ovation. They loved it. They absolutely loved it. This was why they watched The View. For moments like this. Real moments. Unscripted chaos. One of the other hosts leaned over. Are you okay? She asked Joy. I'm fine, Joy said. Better than fine. That needed to happen. He called you bitter, another host said. He can call me whatever he wants, Joy shrugged. Doesn't make it true. The producer's voice came through their earpieces. They were going to commercial. Finally. 3 minutes late, but they were going. When we come back, Joy said to the camera, we'll talk about what just happened. And maybe, just maybe, we'll discuss why some people think they're above basic respect. Cut to black. Commercial break. Backstage, the chaos was real. Harry's team was scrambling. Phones were ringing. People were shouting. Someone was crying. Probably his PR person. This was a nightmare. A complete nightmare. Harry himself was in a back room, pacing, muttering to himself, replaying the conversation in his head, probably thinking of all the things he should have said, all the comebacks he missed. But out on the stage, Joy was calm. She'd been through worse. Way worse. This was just another Tuesday for her. Another entitled guest who thought they could push her around. She'd handled dictators and politicians and celebrities having meltdowns. A prince with hurt feelings? Please. When they came back from commercial, Joy addressed the audience directly. So that happened, she said. And I want to be clear about something. I have nothing against Prince Harry personally. I don't. But when you come on this show, you're going to get real questions. Hard questions. That's what we do here. The audience applauded again. If you can't handle that, Joy continued, if you think your title or your trauma or whatever makes you special enough to avoid tough conversations, then maybe don't come on The View, because we're not going to pretend. We're not going to softball you. That's not who we are. More applause, louder this time. And calling me names? Joy laughed. Calling me bitter? I've been called worse by better people. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It just shows me who you really are. One of the co-hosts jumped in. Do you think he'll apologize? She asked. Joy shook her head. No, she said. People like that don't apologize. They double down. They go on Instagram or Twitter and play the victim. They'll say we ambushed him. They'll say we were unfair. But you all saw it. You saw what happened. The cameras had caught everything. Every word. Every expression. Every moment of the meltdown. It was all there. Recorded forever. The truth is, Joy said, he came here expecting us to bow down. To treat him like royalty. Literally. But that's not how this works. Not in America. Not on this show. Here, everyone's equal. Everyone gets the same treatment. I don't care if you're a prince or a plumber. The audience loved that. They ate it up. Behind the scenes, Harry's car was pulling away from the studio. He was gone. Out of there. Probably calling Meghan. Probably telling her his version of events. How he was attacked. How they were mean to him. How America doesn't understand him. But back at the view table, Joy was wrapping up the segment. "Look," she said, "I hope he learns from this. I really do. I hope he figures out that you can't go through life expecting everyone to agree with you. To validate you. Sometimes people are going to challenge you. Push back. Ask hard questions. And when they do, you have two choices. You can engage like an adult, or you can throw a tantrum and storm off." She paused for effect. Today, we saw which choice he made. The show went on. They talked about other topics, other news, but everyone knew what people would remember, what they'd be talking about at work tomorrow, at the grocery store, on social media, the moment Prince Harry lost his cool and got kicked off The View. It was the kind of television moment that becomes legendary, the kind people remember years later. Where were you when you saw it? What did you think when it happened? And Joy? Joy handled it like the professional she is. No drama, no theatrics, just straight talk and zero tolerance for disrespect. In the control room, the producers were already reviewing the footage, cutting clips for social media. They knew this was going to be huge, massive, the kind of viral moment that breaks the internet. Harry's people were probably already trying to get ahead of it, calling news outlets, spinning the story. But there's no spinning what happened. The cameras caught it all. Joy finished the show like she always does, with grace, with humor, with that knowing look that says she's seen it all and nothing surprises her anymore. As the credits rolled, she turned to her co-hosts. "Well," she said with a smile, "I think we gave them something to talk about today." That was an understatement, the biggest understatement of the year. Because what happened that morning wasn't just a confrontation between a host and a guest. It was a masterclass in how to handle entitled behavior, how to stand your ground, how to refuse to be bullied or intimidated, no matter who's sitting across from you. Joy Behar showed everyone watching that respect is earned, not given. That titles don't matter. That everyone, prince or not, has to answer tough questions if they're going to sit at that table. And Prince Harry? He showed everyone what happens when you're not used to being challenged. When you've lived in a bubble so long that honest criticism feels like an attack. When you confuse accountability with persecution. The studio emptied out after the show. The lights dimmed. The crew packed up. But the moment lived on. In recordings. In clips. In conversations happening across the country. People picked sides. Some defended Harry. Said Joy was too harsh. Too mean. But most people saw it for what it was. A man who couldn't handle being treated like everyone else. Who expected special treatment and threw a fit when he didn't get it. And through it all, Joy remained unbothered. Because that's what happens when you've spent decades doing this job. When you've earned your seat at that table. When you know who you are and what you stand for. She didn't need to chase him down.